Happy Sunday, guys. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault. How are you on this Sunday? This podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. The code is JUICE at checkout to save $30 off the already 50% off savings going on across OmahaSteaks.com site right now. Promo code JUICE. Minimum purchase may be required, but you get $30 off at checkout. All right, I can't shake this. 1-1, 1-1, 2-2. Now, if you bet the parlay for the UFC, that hit. The hockey bet did not hit. So basically that was flat. Flat on the day. Down 0.2. So we were down 0.1, down 0.1, down 0.2. I mean, these are paper cuts, but it's just when we're trying to win back what has been happening this week, it's been somewhat of a frustration. So cold streak continues. If you want to fade these plays, I do not blame you whatsoever because it's just been one of those months. I just can't I can't have a winning day. I haven't had a winning day on the juice for almost a week, I think. Maybe it's last Monday? I don't know. It's been a while. So I mean, it's been so long, I can't remember the last time we had a winning day here. So do what you want with the picks. We got basketball right. We got the Lions right. Lions was easy. Way off on the college football bet and way off on the other under. I mean, my gosh, it was trending perfectly for the first game to the under. That would have been great. And then nope. And then the Colts beat the Steelers. So our over 8.5 win total bet is now seriously in jeopardy for Pittsburgh. It's why I didn't bet that game. I was like, you know what? Let's just stay away from the Colts game because if the Steelers lose, this is going to get bad here. They got to, at least win one more game, and then that let us bet against it in the final game of the regular season. We can bet against it and get out of the bet. So, that's what I'll do. But they got to win one more game to get there, and I'm not so sure they're going to win one more game with 3 games remaining. So, Steelers were yikes. So that's why I stayed away from that. Got 1 game at home and 2 on the road for Pittsburgh, by the way. That is not good. And then, UCLA I can't believe how much they scored on Boise. That was stunning. They had 7 points, and all of a sudden, like a snap of a finger, they had 28. It was like, what the heck happened to Boise's defense? And UCLA couldn't score on anybody this year, and all of a sudden, they start scoring. This is why bowl games, I'm not going to be heavily invested in bowl games. I'm just not. They're complete crapshoots. You have no idea what the motivation is. You have no idea what the transfer portal has done to a locker room. You have no idea what kids are coming in and what kids are going out. It's just... It's a complete, unpredictable, brutal thing to bet. And I'm not going to bet heavily on the Bulls. I'm just not. So that was 0-1 to start in the bowl season. I don't know if I'll bet. Maybe there'll be a couple of bowl games I'll bet on, but not many. I'll stick with regular season stuff and things that are more predictable, like the NBA, which is crazy to say, but we'll do that. Okay. So we have the live stream today. It's going on at noon Eastern time on the BettingPros YouTube channel. It's myself and Pat Fitzmaurice this week. We'll give you our picks, our thoughts, and plays for the week. We'll go over the plays. I'll give you the Wong teaser, which missed last week, but my personal teaser hit. I'll give you that here in just 1 second. Got a couple other plays that I'll explain to you guys here in a second. I got a little moneyline parlay if you want to throw it together because I'll be betting it because it's just kind of like a fade on some of what people are saying. So we'll jump on that a little bit. And then we will go into a Sunday and we will hope to have a decent Sunday to close out the week. And it would need a sweep. I would need to go 5-0 or win 5 units. I would need to win all 4 prop bets and all 4 bets to go 5-0 to, I think, even have, I think that would make it a winning week. If I swept it, I have a winning week. But the likelihood of me going 5-0 today, given the week I've had, is quite unlikely. But let's get into it. Okay, so the first game is the Buccaneers at the Packers. Now, we have an under 6.5 bet on the Bucs. All right? This is both a bet that I think is worth placing, but it's also a hedge on that play, that 1 unit bet that we have down on the Buccaneers to go under 6.5 wins. The best case scenario here would be that the Buccaneers would lose by 3. And then the 6.5 stays alive. We can hedge off it again next week, and we cover the 3.5. But let's say they win the game, the 3.5 then covers the 1 unit we're going to lose here on the under 6.5 wins for the Bucs. So that's the principle. That's the reasoning for the bet. If it was 3, I wouldn't make this bet. 3.5, I'm making this play, okay? The Bucs have played well on the road, okay? Tampa Bay, ATS this season on the road, they're 6-1 against the number. Now, Green Bay's 4-2 at home, okay? But it looks like Vita Vea is going to play, which is huge for that Tampa Bay defense. Tampa is 6-1 on the road. They're 8-5 ATS overall. This is the second game in a row on the road for Tampa, so I don't love this, okay? Normally, this would be a bet against, not a bet on. But because of what's happening with the other side, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go ahead and bet this as both sort of a hedge opportunity, but also if you want to do this as well, you can do this. You could put a half unit down and bet plus 150 on the money line for Tampa. If you want to really hedge off this and not commit a full unit, okay? But like I said, I think Tampa's going to cover this number, and I think it's both a bet on and it's a hedge on both, okay? Green Bay was on the road last week against the Giants. They lost the game outright as 5.5-point favorites. I wasn't in love with the Packers. They looked a little bit banged up, and look, they are banged up big time, okay? Their wide receiver core, Watson's not going to play in this game. It's, you talk about like just overall injury reports. Yes, Tampa Bay's got a bunch, but Green Bay's got some really big injuries. Christian Watson is doubtful. That is a huge loss for that wide receiver core. Jaden Reed is probable. He's got an ankle injury here. A.J. Dillon is questionable. He's got a broken thumb. That's not good. Aaron Jones is questionable. He's missed the last 3 games with an MCL sprain, so I don't know how that's going to look for him. I mean, this is just a banged up Green Bay Packer team in a big, big way. You got a lot of guys on IR. And this Bucs team is relatively healthy. Vita Vea is questionable. He's been upgraded from doubtful to questionable. So that's big. Godwin is probable in this game. And look, Mike Evans has played really well, and Baker Mayfield plays well in the cold. So I'm going to take Tampa plus 3.5, 1.1 units. Bucs plus 3.5 up against the Packers here at Lambeau Field. Let's see the Green Bay Packers win by 3. That would be perfect. Keep our under bet alive and cover this 3.5-point number. Green Bay wins by 3, hopefully here. Tampa Bay plus 3.5 for 1.1 units. The other play, and this is not really all that scientific. This is just the Buffalo Bills against the wall in a must-win situation up against a Cowboys team that really isn't that good on the road. Cowboys are 9-4 ATS. But they're 3-3 on the road, ATS. Buffalo is 3-3 at home, but they beat the Chiefs in a must-win situation on the road. If they lose this game at home, they've literally thrown the entire chance to make the playoffs out the window. Yes, Dallas is really good. I'll give you that. Dallas beat Carolina on the road by 23 points. But Dallas lost to Philadelphia by 5 on the road. They only beat the Chargers by 3. Chargers stink, like we know. Lost by 32 on the road to San Francisco. Lost by 12 on the road to Arizona. Yes, in the first game of the year, they did blow out the Giants by 40 in the first game of the regular season. But this is a really big game for Buffalo. The line's only 1.5. I totally understand that people think that Dallas and Dak Prescott, they're going to go in there and they're going to make big, big waves and end the Buffalo Bills season. Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Maybe I'm too far down here. Micah Parsons is probable. He's been sick the last week or so that's a little bit of a question mark. Brandon Cooks is probable, also being sick. There's been something running through this Dallas Cowboys locker room. You've got some pretty big questionable guys. Dawson Knox is probable with a wrist injury. He's expected to be able to play versus the Cowboys. Dalton Kincaid is also probable, dealing with a shoulder injury. He looks like he's going to be able to go. Micah Hyde is out, already been ruled out of this game. That's a big loss for that secondary for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is going to play. He's got a right shoulder injury, but he's had a right shoulder injury all year long, so that's not all that shocking. But if they can get both tight ends in the game, I think that could be big, help move the chains and pick up first downs. This has to be all Josh Allen, okay? And this defense just has to be able to not get burned with the big play, which is what Dallas has been able to do so consistently with such an explosive offense, in particular at home. But the weather's not going to be bad. I mean, if you're wondering about the weather's not going to be horrible at all. But Dallas is averaging 32 points per game. That's number one in the NFL. Buffalo's defense hasn't been bad, though. 18 points a game or so, top 5 in the NFL. Buffalo's offense is scoring 27 points a game. That's that's top 6 in the NFL. Gotta be able to run the football. Okay? Gotta be able. You can't be one-dimensional. You can't just let Dallas's pass rush get after Josh Allen and hit him. He's gonna throw a pick. All right? You want to throw Josh Allen throw a pick? It's just rinse and repeat here with this guy when it comes to interceptions. But I think Buffalo will be able to overcome it. Just win the game. All right? 1.5. You can bet money line if you want. If you don't trust the 1.5, say, Matt, you're so cold. Buffalo's going to win by 1. Yep, that's not crazy. I'll lay the 1.5, 1.1 units down. Bills minus 1.5 up against the Dallas Cowboys at home here. Late window, 4:25 East Coast time, start time for Dallas and Buffalo. And my own personal teaser. Okay. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are in a very similar spot here to what the Buffalo Bills are in. They've got a very good team coming in, and their backs are against the wall, and the Bills are home favorites. Jacksonville is a home dog, plus 3.5. Total's 41.5. Jacksonville has to have this. I mean, they've looked so bad. They've been so horrible. They're 2-4 ATS on the 2-4 ATS this year at home. Ravens are 4-2. Ravens are 6-3 ATS against the AFC. Jacksonville's 6-4. They've lost 2 games in a row at home to Cincy and at Cleveland. It's been ugly. This team for the Ravens have won 3 games in a row. They lost to Cleveland and then they at home and they beat Cincinnati. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Rams at home. Didn't cover last week as 7.5-point favorites. But the injuries are starting to mount for the Ravens. Like, a lot of injuries are starting to mount for the Ravens. Everyone's banged up at this point, but Kyle Hamilton is probable. He's got a grade 1 MCL sprain. That's not good for a safety. You got Roquan Smith, the linebacker, is probable. He's got a back injury. You don't like that at all. Mark Andrews out of this offense has really changed things a lot. And I still think going on the road is going to be difficult. But I'm going to give the Jags 9.5 points, okay? You want to bet the under in this game, by the way? Sunday night under at 41.5. I don't mind it. But if you like the under, you shouldn't mind giving the Jaguars 9.5 points. Jags plus 9.5. And the other side is I'm going to go to Washington and the LA Rams. Washington on the road. What's Washington playing for? Nothing. Washington on the road, even though they've been pretty good, 5-2 ATS on the road here. You got a Rams team that, amazingly enough, has been playing solid football. They've covered 3 straight games for them here. Arizona, Cleveland, Baltimore, 2 on the road, 1 at home. They're 3-3. They've covered the last 3, and the Washington Commanders have not covered over their last 3, losing by 12, 35, and 30. They've been getting killed, and this is on the road or at home. Rams 6.5-point favorites. We're going to tease it down to 0.5 point. Basically, Rams money line. Rams win. Jaguars plus 9.5. That is a minus 120 teaser. That right there are the 3 plays for me officially here today up until our live stream, which will give you the Wong teaser in the 4 player props. So again, Bucks plus 3.5 in the early window. Bills minus 1.5 in the late window. My teaser is Rams minus 0.5 point, combined with the Jags plus 9.5 up against the Ravens at home. 2 home teams, teasing it down, teasing it up. Now, there is a bet that I'm going to make personally that's more or less just like I'm going to go against everybody, and everyone's claiming that it's, foregone conclusion. It's plus 140 for the Browns and the Saints, a money line, 2-leg money line parlay. Everyone's on the Giants. Everyone is on the Giants. Tommy Cutlet said, it's fugazi to me, okay? I ain't seeing it. I'm sorry. I would lay the points, but I don't want it. It's 5. It was 6. I think the Saints win the game. Giants going down there and winning the game? I don't think so. I don't see it. Saints defense keeps them in the game. Saints money line. And then Cleveland and Chicago, I don't know what I'm missing here. I mean, everyone's on Chicago. Everyone's on Chicago. I'm so cold that I'm like, okay, I'm clearly dead wrong because everyone likes Justin Fields here. Browns at home, they don't lose at home. Browns defense at home, they don't give up a point. They don't give up points at home. Like it doesn't happen. Cleveland this year at home, they are 5-2 to the under this year. On the road, 6-0 to the over. But at home, you don't score on Cleveland. Joe Flacco is playing again, but I mean, it's kind of crazy. Jacksonville last week went over. The home game went over against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 31-27 the win for Cleveland. 2 previous games were on the road. Both games did go over. Last 2 for Chicago have gone under. On the road against the Vikings, at home against Detroit. And over and under by 3.5 in 21 points. But so like anyone scoring in this game? I guess dog and under, but you know, Chicago's 4-3 ATS on the road. Cleveland is 6-1 ATS at home. Now, those are just trends. I'll give you that. They beat Jacksonville last week by 4, laying 2.5. Now they're laying 3. Bears have won 2 games in a row. They're scoring. I get it. And the Bears are trying to make this miracle run, but so are the Cleveland Browns. I don't get it. I don't get it personally. I don't get it. And the Saints, I mean, again, Tommy Cutlett's okay going on the road. Saints at home, their offense has been horrible. They're 1-5 ATS at home. That's awful. But the Giants are 2-5 on the road. Giants beat the Patriots, beat Green Bay, beat Washington on the road. But before that, they got killed by Dallas. They got killed by Vegas. They lost to Buffalo. They got killed by Miami. They got killed by San Francisco. They lost to the they beat the Arizona Cardinals in their first road game. Why are people backing the Giants? I don't understand it. If you want something extra, Cleveland Saints moneyline parlay, it's plus 140. I'll be on that because this is just one of those, like, I don't agree with everybody else, but that's just what I'm doing. Okay, so I will talk to you for the live stream coming up at noon Eastern time on the BettingPros YouTube channel. Again, Bills minus 1.5, Bucks plus 3.5. My teaser is Rams to 0.5 point and Jaguars up to 9.5 plus 9.5. Fade or follow. Do what you want with those plays. Those are my bets here for Sunday. My name is Matt Perrault. I'll talk to you guys at noon Eastern on the BettingPros YouTube channel for more every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast was being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.